Those of you that know Jean, we've talked about this, but it can't be said enough. Her passion runs high. She has a heart of gold. It's my distinct privilege to introduce Jean Rosenwald.
If I can get through this without crying, it will be a miracle. I'm so moved by how many people showed up tonight. It's just overwhelming. As you'll hear later, how important this all is for the patients. It's just amazing. I want to share with you one great piece of news, and that is that as of last night, we had enough from our sponsors that the entire event has been covered. So it's been 4 years since we began the journey of this foundation. In that time, we felt the huge impact that we made on the lives of people in their final journey. And just this last year, we funded 61 patients with your generous donations. We continue to be the only foundation that funds people and not buildings and programs. Hospices in Oregon and Southwest Washington. And we hope to grow that in the next year, moving on up into Washington and going on the Pacific Northwest Hospice Foundation. So we hope to cover the whole Pacific Northwest in time. Now it's time for things. 3 years ago, we created the Dr. Edward E. Rosenwald. Jean?
3 years ago, we created the Dr. Edward E. Rosenwald Memorial Fund in memory of Jean's uncle, who spent the last 25 years of his life teaching and supporting patient advocacy. His philosophy of care embodied treating all patients with dignity and respect to the end. All proceeds from our last 2 events have gone into this fund. And as Jean said, in the last year, we were able to fund 61 patients in their final hours.
What do we mean by honor the journey? These words, individually and together, resonate with me every day. They are all about kindness, support, and the path that we each follow. We're all on this journey together. Some will leave us too soon. We're here to honor those who are in jeopardy of passing without having some basic needs met, or without living out their final wish. And believe me, it is a huge honor. This past year, I attended the granting of some of your gifts. What I heard and witnessed moved me beyond words and spurs me on to continue this incredibly important work. If you could be a witness, not only would you be more thankful for what you have, but you might dig deeper in your soul to help. Here are just a few of the stories that you helped find in the last year. A father's dying wish was to see his 2 grown daughters one last time. The family was unable to afford it, so we flew them from Victoria, BC to Portland for a visit. The father died within 24 hours of their arrival. The family had so little that their They knew that would be his last birthday. Unfortunately, his health declined and he was unable to make the trip, but we funded some movie passes and ice cream, two of the things that he could still enjoy, but could not afford. Last Saturday, while driving to Eugene for a wedding, I returned an urgent call in the car, and here was the request. Maria traveled to the United States from Mexico 6 months ago because her daughter was undergoing cancer treatment. And while she was here, she became extremely ill and was diagnosed with cancer with only 2 months to live. So her request was for us to fly her and her daughter home to Mexico so she could be with her 9 children and 10 grandchildren. And we flew her home yesterday. The dichotomy of the day struck me as one life was ending while 2 others were just beginning their journey together. Another very touching request came from a patient who wanted to marry but didn't even have the funds for a marriage license. Because the patient was so near death, the chaplain requested of the state to bypass the 3-day waiting period, and we were able to purchase the marriage license, and they were married, and he passed away the next day. The patient and his spouse have been married for more than 30 years, remaining deeply in love. As his health was declining rapidly, we planned a very special evening for the couple, a favorite meal with candlelight, flowers, and music. My final story is about Marilyn, who was a spunky, fun, bright, independent woman. One of the hardest things for her was giving up driving. We gave her the cab fare to go wherever she wanted, and she wrote me the most beautiful letter. She said, "I want you to know how much this gift means to me. I cannot thank you enough for what may seem a small thing to some people, but it's just life-changing for me. At my memorial service, I will be asking people to donate to your foundation. Flowers are beautiful, but they do not make a change in someone's life, and that would be my hope." Marilyn was a very special person who, in the end, I was honored to call my friend. I'd like to introduce you to a very special guest, Marilyn's daughter, Kristen Ayers.
I'm not much of a public speaker, but when Jean asked me to talk about my mom and what a donation meant for her, I can't stay there. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Talking about my mom, her life, her cancer journey, her death is something I've done a lot of, and it's an honor to do so tonight. Here are the words. Just I could hear her voice. I think to understand why a small gift of money for cat care could have meant so much, you need to understand my mom a little. My mom, ever since I can remember, was an incredibly charitable person. She didn't have a lot of money, being a single mom to myself and my brother, working in social work with people with disabilities. But she always gave when she could. Whether it was money, time, providing a meal, or listening ear, she was generous. She was the one who thought of others, and though she may have had needs herself, she did not ask for help very often. It wasn't a pride thing. I think she just always felt like there were other people who needed it more. While thanking people on her Caring Bridge site for messages, letters, and cards she had received, she wrote, "I am quite humbled and overwhelmed by this outpouring of love. Even though difficult, we must be willing at times to be the receiver rather than the giver." In September 2012, Mom was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer with metastasis to the liver and bone. The oncologist's prognosis was either a few weeks if chemo didn't work, or 8 to 12 months if it did. My mom was 68 years old, and this was devastating to us. However, cancer did not beat my mom. She lived 17 months after her initial diagnosis, and in between chemo and radiation, in between random infections and a crazy appendectomy that led to a hole from her intestines down her belly button, in between hospital stays and breathing treatments, in between pain and suffering, my mom embraced life. She embraced people. There was joy and there was heartache. We cried in the car coming home from appointments and made jokes at the funeral home while planning her memorial service. She made cookies with her grandkids and wrote down her life story. She helped my kids with homework and made dinner for me when I was overwhelmed. She made scrapbooks and cookbooks and let me take as many pictures of her as I wanted, even though she hated having a picture taken. She meticulously selected keepsakes for those she loved, especially for her grandkids, something they could treasure always. My mom died peacefully this past February 1st at my house, surrounded by myself, my husband, and my 3 children. Her last few words were words of love spoken on the phone to my brother who lives in New York City. Those 17 months were horrible and hard and amazing and beautiful. Each day, holiday, birthday, grandkids, soccer games, spelling bee, or school program, they were all gifts. When my mom was first diagnosed with that for time, my youngest daughter was only 5 at the time, and I wondered if she would even remember her grandma when she grew up. But in those 17 months, we were able to create so many precious memories. I have no doubt now that she will remember her always. One of the ways my daughter will remember her is through her letters. When my mom was diagnosed with cancer, she didn't stop giving, but this time it was through her words. The letter Jean read was just one of hundreds my mom wrote over the course of 17 months, and each one was carefully thought out, consideration taken for the intended recipient to be encouraging to them and thankful for them. My mom was also pretty independent, having lived by herself for many years. She was used to doing what she wanted when she wanted to do it. So last July, when my mom entered hospice and her oncologist put her foot down that she could no longer drive, she was devastated. It didn't matter that she didn't go places a lot by herself anymore, as carrying her oxygen tank and her cane and her purse were all pretty exhausting for her. It was that she could go when she wanted and where she wanted. Otherwise, she had to rely on me, and she already felt guilty with how much I did for her. She didn't want me to have to do more, even though I would have done anything for her. She always felt like she had to rush when I took her shopping because she thought she was taking my time away from my family. Knowing my mom's funds were limited and transportation options were limited in McMinnville, my mom's hospice social worker offered to try to help. And when she brought mom the gift of money for cat fare from this foundation, she was so surprised and incredibly grateful. Grateful to be able to take a taxi to the store, be there as long as she wanted, buy what she wanted, and not have to worry about taking my time away from that family or even to her already meager Social Security income that she lived on. The first time she took a cab grocery shopping, she stopped up and the very kind cab driver had to help carry all the groceries. She may have come home exhausted, but she felt blessed to have some of her independence back. My mom always felt she had a heart for the downtrodden, and while she knew she couldn't do much monetarily, she knew doing something little was better than doing nothing at all. A gift of cat fare. It may not seem like much, but it was everything to my mom, and I thank you for being a part of that.
Appreciate being out here and telling the story. Aaron actually passed away on the day that I was discharged from the hospital. I was devastated that I couldn't come to her memorial service. Her picture is in your programs and a little of her story. Every life is so precious. And each last moment creates a sacred opportunity to share your blessings. Your gift is a powerful statement of the person you are. Your gift will probably have a negligible effect on your financial life, but as you can see, dramatically change the life of another. It is only through your generosity that my board and I are here to meet the need and to honor the journey of those who are spending their final moments on this earth, perhaps without the means and support to pass in peace. Through our shared vision and financial support, we continue this important work that is not being accomplished by anybody else. I ask you, wouldn't you want the same? Thank you so much for your support.